It's up to you. You're the one with the headphones. Are you not? You gonna wear headphones?
I'm gonna wear headphones.
Really,
dude.
the whole time. You don't want to just go natural.
No, man.
Really?
Yeah, I don't go raw.
Really?
I don't go raw. I need protection.
Do you feel closer to me by hearing me through the headphones?
Yeah, in the cans.
Yeah. Okay.
I need like 3D.
Yeah, because I could
Dolby Digital Brent Weinbach in my ears.
Because I could whisper it to you and you still could feel it.
We could do ASMR the whole episode.
Yeah. I mean, I can do it.
You guys are in for a special treat. We have a fully ASMR episode of Fahim Anwar Dance Hour. They fall asleep. You see like the retention time and everyone falls asleep 30 seconds in.
It's actually, that's like kind of an oxymoron, ASMR dance hour, or something like that,
Are you guys ready to get your dance on?
Yeah, exactly.
This jam is so, and we ran it through a whisper filter, so it's really gonna.
Yeah.
It's like everybody dance now. But it's like everybody dance. Just ASMR dance hits.
Wait a second.
Did we invent a new genre of music?
This is a good idea. Yeah.
It's kind of lullabying your favorite.
It's your favorite jock jams.
And everyone has their favorite jock jams.
It's all done in a whisper,
In a whisper. Yeah. No, that's what I call ASMR.
Yeah, that's what I call ASMR. Yeah, exactly.
The train's getting away from us. Welcome back to the Dance Hour, Fahim Anwar Dance Hour. We don't have a lot of guests. But I mean, I wanted to have my buddy.
Oh, well, I'm honored.
Very funny comedian as well, Brent Weinbach on the program. Everyone at home, come on, clap. He can hear. He's like Tinkerbell. He feels the claps.
Yeah, I don't even need the headphones. I can still.
He's such a pro.
I can hear your clap.
He can hear the claps. He could feel it in his soul. Yeah, you don't do the phones. I do the phones. I just want to
the headphones.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm in the biz. I call it phones.
Oh yeah.
Because I do so much podcasting. I don't have time to.
Do you ever call them cans?
That's radio. That's more a radio term.
Really?
Like when you do Zoo Crew, they'd be like, "Hey, all right, we're gonna come back. Hey, put your cans on."
Yeah.
And then what club are you playing this weekend? We got Fahim Anwar coming to the Chuckle Hut. Check them out Friday and Saturday. So you do a lot of Arab jokes, right? I'm like, no, not really.
Wait, do they ask you that?
Sometimes you'll do these. It's just annoying. You'll do some clubs, and then the comedy club's like, "We want you to do. They want you to do radio, so you have to wake up at 5 a.m.
No, I know.
You're gonna go there for drive time, and they go, "Hey, thanks for doing the program. All right, we're gonna come up in like 2 minutes, and then okay, we got Fahim Anwar and they know nothing about you.
I know it's so. I always think, why do I have to get up at 5 a.m. just for nobody to promote something to no one who's gonna come to the show?
Yes, it's almost like, hey, we need you to do a silent movie to promote the shows this weekend. It's such
a really good analogy.
It's such an antiquated way of getting people in seats.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah, because more people come from my tweets, my Instagram stories, my YouTube. No one's like, hey, I was in traffic and I came to your show. I got off on an exit just to catch your show.
We actually want to do a daguerreotype shoot. Daguerreotype shoot.
That's too much of a deep cut for me. What is that?
It's an old version of a photograph. It's like when it was on metal. I think I could be wrong, but
we have a pinhole camera shoot that we want you to promote.
We actually were gonna do. We wanted you to do some caveman drawings.
Because some people may stumble into a cave, some of these national parks and stuff.
Yeah.
There might be some of the fanny pack who's like, oh babe, Fahim is at the Funny Bone this weekend. Can we get on a jet and get there in time? But you have to do it because you want to appease the club. Well, you don't want a bad relationship with the comedy club. So you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind doing the morning TV shows, the local morning shows.
Okay.
Those are kind of fun because I don't know, there's something kind of fun about that a little bit, But the radio ones, I just feel like no one's coming. I'd like people. Well, I haven't done morning radio in a long time, but I'd like people to come up and say, "Hey, I came because I heard you on the radio," and then make it feel like,
so that's sort of a pact with anybody listening. If this reaches anybody, well, it makes no sense because they're already fans. But okay, I would love in a perfect world where, like you said, somebody came up to you,
that did not know who I was,
not know who you were, and said, "I heard you on the radio or morning, morning TV, and I decided to come see you."
I've had fun on the morning TV shows because for some reason that format is a little more. I feel like that actually could reach people because you're seeing me visually, and I feel like you can get more from me as a comedian when I'm on camera, as opposed to
just voice,
the audio. Although I don't know, I've had good moments on radio before, but still don't know if it's converting people because people aren't. If they're watching a morning show, they're a little more focused, right?
Yeah.
On the show, but on radio, if they're driving, they're maybe. It's background noise. I feel like more. They're paying attention to the road most of the time, right?
Unless they're in a Tesla.
Right. Well, then, so yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to reach your Tesla fans, or not potential or future Tesla fans,
Yes.
if you want to reach a Tesla audience,
That's
then you could
like
do
the
morning
holy
radio.
grail.
That's morning radio.
Disposable
I guess,
income. They're in like the high 100Ks.
Yeah.
They can afford a Fahim Anwar and Brent Weinbach ticket.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask you something, but I don't.
Whoa,
want
you're turning the tables, please.
Wait, I don't want to switch gears.
Whoa,
too
is this
hard.
Brent Weinbach dance hour? Let's switch chairs.
I don't-
ask me the.
I don't want to, and I don't even know if you want me to bring this up, but I couldn't. I'm kind of taking in the environment here, and
Sure.
you know, I noticed something amongst the gear and the lens caps.
Yeah, I've got
and
gear
things.
and shit.
And can I bring attention into
Sure.
that box right there?
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I just noticed this box. Is it okay if I switch gears?
Please switch
Okay.
gears.
I noticed this box. It's called. Well, I know it's called TOPSTICK,
Yes.
the original.
Okay. Is it called the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to be confused with.
Well, I'm just trying to piece it together. I'm aware of what Topstick is. I didn't know that it was called the original underneath it. So I imagine Topstick had the market cornered, and then there were imitators.
Yeah.
And they go, we've got to remind people that we were the original.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, which makes me think. Well, okay, a couple questions. So
Yeah.
I've never seen this before,
Okay.
but men's grooming tape is what it is.
Interesting. Okay.
Men's grooming tape.
Well,
What is that?
I feel like I'm on Maury now, or I'm being grilled. Let me repeat for the court. Men's grooming tape. Can we have that down? Do you groom? Do you groom a lot? So
What does
you
that
claim,
mean?
You claim you're a man.
Explain that. What is that?
It's for microphones. It's for lavalier microphones.
Okay, got it. That's
you put it. It's double stick. It's like really kind of like sound gear double stick tape. So you put it.
You put it on your shirt or whatever.
Yeah,
or on your
you
chest.
put it on your chest, and then you stick the microphone there.
And then when you take the microphone off, it takes some of your hair off as well.
A little
So
bit.
that you can get a nice little kind of
A nice little reverse
sort
Hitler
of bald
stash.
patch. Yeah.
A nice reverse chest hair Hitler
or
stash.
like a reverse soul patch on your
on my chest.
on your chest. Yeah.
Which all the ladies are digging
yeah,
nowadays.
right. Well, they want to just
They like to break
like to-
up the roughness,
Yeah.
and then there's
they want a little oasis of smoothness, you know?
it's like a Central Park for
Yeah,
chest hair.
It's like this island that's floating in a sea of hair.
Exactly.
And they want a safe space where they can just sort of relax and then go back out to sea when they're ready, you know?
Yeah, because it's too much forest, and it's nice to take a break.
Yeah. There's a clearing. It's a clearing.
clearing.
Yeah.
You don't want too much.
Well,
You just
sometimes they get
want-
lost in there. You know, they get lost in
is.
the forest, and then they go to the clearing. They kind of, you know, they see the North Star. They can kind of
get their bearings,
and
then go back into the
remember
forest.
where they are exactly. Go back in and get lost again and frolic. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I have it
Right. Well,
for the ladies.
okay. So you use that. That's not what it's for. It's not really intended for the purpose of microphones and stuff. But
Well, a sound guy told me about it, so that's
Okay.
why I got it myself.
But this is for something else.
I've heard, like, you know that famous Jennifer Lopez green dress where it's just like hugging her
Jennifer Lopez.
boobs?
Is that? You mean J-Lo?
Yeah.
Oh, J-Lo. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
are
I'm
you
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Like, we've just been friends for so long that I forgot that her full name is Jennifer Lopez. I call her J. She's on my phone. It's J-Lo.
I just didn't even know. I just.
Oh, you mean her driver's license name? Yeah, I know it's J-Lo.
Yeah.
So she had that green dress at the VMAs that kind of like hugged her nipples.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Topstick was involved. No, for real, it was. Like, whenever these starlets or whatever, or women are wearing these very revealing dresses that defy the laws of physics.
Yeah. No, there's tape involved.
There's
definitely.
Topstick
No,
involved.
I've asked about it. There was someone I
J-Lo?
met. It was something like a J-Lo of sorts. You know, I asked J-Lo. I was hanging out with J-Lo. And,
Obviously, yes.
I was hanging out with J-Lo.
J-Lo.
No, I remember I was this one guy.
How about?
Did I tell you about? I don't even know.
I just thought of a hybrid character. It's called J-Lono. So it's a hybrid of Jennifer Lopez and Jay Leno.
That's really funny.
Jay Leno.
Actually, just imagine Jay Leno wearing
suit?
the outfit. No, the outfit where
Oh
he's
my God.
it's defying the laws of physics, or it's barely showing it's not showing his nipple, but it's
I
almost
feel like when you see that, then you wake up in a cold sweat.
Jay
Lono.
Jay Lono. That's good. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of going in a lot
All over
of
the
ways
place.
in my mind, but there was someone who one time was saying, they were kind of name dropping somebody, and they said, I was out the other night with Spike, Spike Lee, you know. He kind of had to clarify Spike
What if it
Lee.
was Spike Fernstein?
Yeah,
or whatever?
that'd be funny too.
I mean, there's really only 2 Spikes in Hollywood, right?
Well, there's Spike Firestein
Yeah,
and Spike Lee and Spike from Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation or Spike and Mike's Festival of Animation.
I don't even know that
Okay,
one.
well, there's that Spike, and then there's Spike, the cartoon dog from the Looney Tunes.
Sure.
You know?
That's at the top of everyone's list.
Um,
I'm doing a terrible, I introed you a little bit just saying you're Brent Weinbach and you're a comedian and you're my friend. But I want to give you a little more, because we go to dinner and stuff and we hang out. Or
Yeah.
you have more TOPSTICK stuff.
I just wanted to say real quick
Please,
before you get into that.
please.
Is that men's grooming tape? What does that mean, do you think? Are they grooming, they taping parts of are they taping their eyebrows, or is that grooming for their pelvic
Their
area?
groin
or,
area?
or somewhere else? And if it is their groin area, why isn't it called
Grooming
bottom
tape.
stick?
That's good.
Why is it called top stick?
I feel like you're doing like way too niche stand-up comedy at a club. Like if you thought everyone would know what TOPSTICK is, you go like, why isn't it called? God, you guys are familiar with TOPSTICK, right? If you're doing your ball and nutsack region, why not call it bottom stick?
Right.
He goes, yeah, you guys don't know what TOPSTICK is?
I've never heard of top
It is
stick.
confusing. I don't know why it's called men's grooming tape.
Well, it's because I think it's supposed to be like
A wax?
of sorts. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gathering. I'm never
Guys,
like I said,
if you work at TOPSTICK, write into the podcast, fahimanwardancehour@gmail.com. Let us know what TOPSTICK, why it's called men's grooming tape.
I think it's supposed to be like Nair, you know,
yeah.
or something like
Sounds
that.
like a painful.
Where I think you put I'm imagining you put
Right.
the tape on parts of your body. I'm assuming your balls or
Your
your
balls.
something like that, or your pelvic area, and you're putting it down and then ripping it off, or something
for the
like
ladies,
that.
because you have a date later on.
Anyway, we go to dinner.
We go to dinner. We've known each other for a long time. So, but you may already know Brent Weinbach, and you don't even know that you know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, you know, I'm a fan. Like, we're friends, and then I like your comedy and all that.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so you may know Gangster Party Line. You may have seen that on the internet.
It gets stolen all the time by people.
Yes,
and
it gets re-uploaded.
So
it gets
annoying.
memed. It gets cut up. But it's one of those. It's kind of cool to have a thing that is just lasting through the years and generations.
10 years old at this point.
It's crazy.
It's
but
10 years old, and it's still getting It just got re-uploaded recently, and people are just. It's crazy. It's almost having a resurgence now. Actually,
I think it's just one of those evergreen. No matter what year you're in, it's timeless. You know, for real. You know,
A timeless classic.
It is. It's a timeless classic. So it'll keep on getting these rebirths. It'll keep on getting posted on whatever the new social media. It'll be TikTok. It'll be Twitter.
right.
Whatever the new one
right?
is.
Because right now it's on Instagram. It's kind of circulating on Instagram,
making the rounds.
And I didn't. There's a guy who, I mean, people don't realize that it's annoying to re-upload the video, to re-upload
For
the video.
you, you mean?
Yeah, but I don't care as much these days. I kind of let it go. And this one guy was kind of being friendly about it and saying, "Hey, look how well your video's doing," you know? And I'm like, oh, "Okay, interesting." And
It's almost like someone stealing your car, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Look at the cool donuts the guy who stole your car is doing."
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Look
huh?
at the mileage your car's getting. They steal like Toyota Tercel, and they say, look how good your mileage is on your car."
Yeah.
And
Like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Like I drove all the way across the country with your.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's what it's like. Exactly. Yeah. But then he actually, I asked him, "Can you just tag me in the video? You know, can
Yes,
you?" And he
at
did. And he was really
minimum.
cool about that. But then there was this other guy who stole that video, his upload of it. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just start asking these people to tag me and stuff. And I asked him, and he said it'll be $100 to $100 in the comments, or $50 to tag it in the video, or something like that. And I said, this is my video that you stole and re-uploaded, and I'm allowing you to keep it up because I could do a DMCA takedown or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, allow. He's like, get out of my. He went off on me saying, you don't have the audience, you don't have the following, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And he was really rude to me. And I thought, how I can't. It's so weird to me that someone would be so disrespectful to somebody whose work they admire. He has 4 of my videos up, by the way.
And does he know that it's actually yours, or does he just think that you're some guy claiming?
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I think he maybe knows it's me, maybe. But weird to be so rude and disrespectful to somebody whose work you admire, I think.
Yes.
Unless he doesn't admire the work and just wants to get views off of it.
I think it's that. So what's your course of action then? Did you do a takedown?
I tried to, and they sided with the thief. You know why?
Why?
Because they said there wasn't enough proof to show that it was my video. Then I sent them call sheets and stuff, because for some of the, I don't have a call sheet for the original video, but for some of the subsequent videos, I have call sheets, and I sent them the original script for the video, and I said, "Is this proof enough that here's the original script?" And I said, "Look at the creation date, and so forth." They haven't gotten back to me. And so then I asked my agent to see if they could do something, and I don't know. They're waiting to hear back. It's been a couple weeks now.
So annoying.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just annoying, and there's not a clean way of claiming your work. And the internet's this wild, wild west, and copyright isn't like it is with TV, music, or film. So you just have to be like, hey, can you take it down?
That's why, and this might upset maybe some of your listeners or viewers, but that's why I think NFTs are kind of cool. Because they connect you to your work in a way that it's sort of a silver lining to things going viral beyond you, or you're not attached to the work anymore once it goes viral, like Gangster Party Line. It's sort of, people don't know who made that, and they don't know, they don't know anything about me or whatever.
Yeah.
But if there's an NFT of it, and that sort of NFT increases in value because of the virility of the video, well, okay, that's something I'll always be connected to, even if people don't even know that I'm connected to it. And that's kind of cool. And I can actually benefit from it monetarily as well.
Yeah, you have a definitive stake in your IP, and that's something that you made.
Yeah, and that can never be, re-uploaded.
Right, people can keep on replicating, but that NFT,
the NFT will be unique, and if whenever that's sold, I'll always have a piece of that too.
Do you have an NFT of Gangster Party Line?
No, I'm thinking about making one though, and I did do it with a different video of mine.
So you've had a couple, so Gangster Party Line is probably the biggest, you think, the most viral thing that you've made, or? Well,
there's three. The three of the biggest videos is that one, and then Mindjack is another one.
That's a great one too.
And
I love that.
I think the thing is, and then the other one is this one called Man Gives Birth. Did you see that one?
I don't know. How does it go?
It's a man who gives birth to a baby.
Okay, maybe
through his penis. And that one went really crazy viral in a kind of a wholly different way, because usually that video gets taken down because it's kind of pretty graphic.
Yeah.
It gets taken down before. It
really
can't
spread
stay
too
up.
much.
Oh no, it does spread a lot. It would get. I remember somebody stole it and uploaded it on Facebook, and it got 15 million views in 24 hours, and then it got taken down. So it'll get these spurts of millions of views, and I feel like that might have gotten more views than these other videos, but they get
the graphic nature. It gets taken down before it can really explode.
Well, it does explode, and then it gets taken down in 24 hours or so.
But imagine if it was up for longer than 24 hours, it'd be crazy.
Right? Yes. Yeah, that would be really crazy. But Mindjack. See, it's weird. The release times are so weird for this. So when Gangster Party Line came out, it was 2013, and that was before people were stealing stuff as much. So that I was able to get a lot of views off of that on my own channel.
What was the original release? Was it YouTube? Was it
YouTube.
Funny or Die?
YouTube. Yeah, and I got a lot of views off of that because it was before things were getting stolen a lot.
Yeah,
and then it started getting stolen later on, and I would kind of get them taken down, but now I don't bother so much. But Mindjack came out several years later, where my upload didn't get that many views, but all the stolen uploads got so many views. You see uploads that were stolen that would get 20 million views, and I'd see other ones that were just tens of millions, right?
What's interesting about, I think, your work and your comedy, like Gangster Party Line and Mindjack, people are looking at Brent right now and but you optically you have a certain vibe or whatever, but people will take your Gangster Party Line or Mindjack, and I'm sure it makes the rounds on World Star Hip Hop and these like hood accounts and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, that's where they go viral. Yeah,
that's where they go viral. And I don't think people would ever, like that audience, I don't think would ever think that that's coming from a guy like you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's very cool and special and a testament to just like you have a comedy space brain, I would say.
Oh yeah. I've always wanted to try to appeal to as big a crowd as possible.
Sure, but even when because I think you were further along in the comedy scene when I first came in, because you were part of that San Francisco scene.
Yeah.
With Moshe, Ali, and then you were already kind of doing UCB a lot here in LA and doing all the cool shows. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But your comedy is never, it's like very you. You know what I mean? You don't look at Brent and be like, oh, he's influenced by such and such. It's just kind of singular. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's what I've always liked about it.
But you know what? Is whatever me as it is, I would always try to perform in all sorts of venues and rooms, and really the first shows I was actually able to get booked at and do well in were black rooms, in Oakland. Those were the first non-open mics that I was doing, and doing well in those environments and stuff,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It all kind of is part of the same narrative, you know what I mean? Or sort of that Gangster Party Line would do well, or Mind Jack or whatever, is that, I don't know, it all kind of goes back to, me doing shows and
just to appease to everybody.
In those rooms, yeah, or just more urban rooms and stuff,
Yeah, I imagine like of a stand-up bit that's kind of in the same vein is that like the getting made fun of, like Mr. Weinbach.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of that I used to talk about substitute teaching a lot, and I used to substitute teach in Oakland, and I don't know, I think the audiences there, they knew what I was talking about,
it's almost like you're taking, like they know those students.
Well, they're their kids,
Yeah.
Like I remember I mentioned, I did a show in Oakland, and I mentioned a student I had named Jamonica, and I guess it's a unique enough name that someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I know Jamonica is actually my niece," or something like that. I said, "Oh, really? Yeah.
Send her my best."
And then she said, "My son goes to the high school, to this high school, and it was a high school I had taught at, and I knew who her son was too and stuff." Yeah.
Wow.
So no, I mean, just connecting to the people.
I guess so.
And that's what these viral videos are all about: connecting to the people.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're a guy. Some people in Hollywood, like you, Kyle Dunnigan, I see the stuff you guys make, and part of me, I just wish like some suit or whatever be like, just give them a show. Just let them. I think you have a proven track record, and if you know anything about comedy, you know that you have a special type of comedy brain or whatever. Some people in this business, I think you should just trust them by what they've made and just give them a shot. Give them a show. You know what I mean?
I wish I could do a sketch show,
I wish I could
and
too.
I put together a reel. I was trying to pitch a sketch show to, one of these places.
Yeah.
And I put together a reel of all these sketches that did really well online. I mean, not just those 3. There's been other ones that have done well too. And I'm just thinking, why don't you just let me do more of this? I mean, you want viral videos? I mean, look, let's
right. And you have a proven track record.
Yeah.
So that's what's so interesting.
Yeah.
Is like, how can you look at Gangster Party Line? How can you look at, Mind Jack and not think that there's something there?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
But, I think that's the plan, is I got to just become industry.
Well, that's what's happening with internet. I think we are of a certain generation where we thought we needed the permission to be creative and for people to allow us to do what we already know what we can do. But now with YouTube, Instagram, and I think I was trying to tell you, you ever think about just doing more YouTube, more
I really
Instagram
admire
stuff?
that you put so much stuff out. I mean, and so many great videos that you have that are, really like easy to make videos. You do these sketches with just you in them, and you kind of just shoot them, around your house or whatever. And that's really cool. And I don't know. For some reason, I don't have a drive to make videos like that as much.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe every now and then I make some smaller definitely make some little videos here and there.
Right.
But I don't know. I admire how you're able to just churn those out and have so many of them, so many cool, funny ideas, and make them and just put them together and put them out at such a frequent pace.
Yeah. I mean, I do that because it's easy, in terms of I want to do the high level sketch. I'm always jotting down sketch ideas that I'm not able to do until I have a production budget to do it properly. Like some of the ones you do. Yeah. You need to do it in a high level, thorough. Yeah.
You gotta go all the way.
You need to go all the way.
Yeah.
And then, but in the meantime, until I have that opportunity, sometimes I'll have that's just like situational or conversation.
No, they're great. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's an easy, quick and dirty way to do it, and just idea driven.
It's great, and I wish I just don't. I would do that if I felt motivated to do it. And I do every now and then.
Yeah,
actually. But
it's all about motivation, honestly.
I don't try to force anything.
I'm the same way. Yeah. I'm streaky. Sometimes I'll have a lot of the ideas and I'll do it, and then sometimes I don't have an idea and I won't. But it's just nice to know. I go, okay, until I can do high production stuff, just to know that, okay, just do a thing that's a minute or a minute 30, just 2 characters, something that's maybe too wordy to do as a stand-up bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I can't. If it's too much like back and forth, It's not going to work as a stand-up bit.
Yeah. Well, it could. I mean,
it could
be
but
like an Eddie Izzard, kind of
where I'm doing a one-man show.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of stuff like that. A lot of back and forth.
I'm pretty good now to like I'll get a funny idea and I know what the best home for it is. Because if it's two characters talking too much, I'm like, okay, that's an Instagram sketch. If it's more involved, then I go, okay, then I got to save it for if I get a sketch show.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the only time I think of stuff like that, or I'm conscious of that, is I don't like to be too wordy on stage because I like to be just more visceral and just, I don't want people thinking too much, I don't want people being too cerebral about stuff.
I like that too,
And I just want to just have people react and not think about it too much and just, sometimes I have certain bits and I think this bit's kind of cool, but it's a little too heady, and I don't want people being too caught up in their head.
I've heard you talk, I don't know where I caught you talk about this, but it's interesting because I'm getting a taste of it as you're talking about it right now. Just sort of the way you approach comedy in terms of you don't want people to think about it too much. You almost want people to not know why they're laughing.
I love that.
Or it's a deeper, and some of your bits are just absurd. Like they don't make sense on paper, but you can't watch it and not laugh. Like it is objectively funny, but on paper, there's no reason why this should be funny. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but I'm just saying it's almost like
it's the opposite of writing, in a way, right?
But you tap into something that I try to tap into sometimes, like especially when I do Lance, when I do my Lance character.
Yeah.
It is because I do stand up as me as well, and sometimes I have jokes. And most people are operating in the space within stand up. You do a joke, and it's like, oh, that's a clever wordplay, or he did that thing, or he's making this parallel. It's almost intellectual or collegiate. And people laugh that way, like, it elicits like he did all the logic gateways, and there's a laugh.
Yeah.
But when I do Lance, I'm just dancing up there and somebody asks Lance a question and he just says something. It's almost like laughing when you're 10 years old at a slumber party.
It's comedy in its purest form. I mean, it's pure childlike reaction.
Yes.
It's just, it's innate, you don't have to be.
It's the child you laughing, not the adult you laughing.
Yeah. I like that.
And I think some of your bits tap into
that's what I want. That's my goal is just to get I do this as a joke actually, but I say, there's a little boy inside every man and woman, and I want to touch that boy with my comedy,
Yeah.
So I mean that's the
but
that's the idea.
You're probably tired of it because you've done it. It's like one of your quintessential bits, but like the Russian alphabet.
Sure. Yeah, it's a pretty abstract bit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's just abstract. The
and
long,
it goes on.
The long version is there's two sets of alphabets, and it's just sort of kind of random, just words and sounds, really. That are, I guess the theme is just going through the alphabet, but done with a Russian accent or a bad Russian accent.
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is that was just a inside joke between my sister and me. My sister, who's one of the funniest people I know, we're just joking around, and we saw an A on the. There was like a letter grade A on a restaurant, and it was in a Russian neighborhood that we were in. And then for some reason, I don't know, one of us just pointed the A, and maybe it was my sister, and she said, "Hey, look, A is for asshole," or something like that, or she said something like that, and then we kind of just started saying A is for different things, and then we started going through the B is for this, and we started going through the whole alphabet, and it just became this funny thing where we were just making stuff up for every letter of the alphabet, and then we started coming up with this. I don't know. It devolved or evolved. I don't know, into swearing a lot, and then it became this big swearing thing.
Was it F, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't just that. It became this. Then it started to become this thing where this guy wants this guy to get out of his house, and it became a story developed. Anyways, just this kind of weird thing, and I just thought, well, I'm just gonna try it on stage, and I did.
Do you remember
it worked.
The first time you did it? It worked.
Yeah.
Here, can you give people a taste of like 2 or 3 letters, or do you know?
So of the lowercase or the uppercase?
I don't know what.
The lowercase
part that you like.
The part that I like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
How do you set it up?
Just say, and now I'd like to present the Russian alphabet. And so it starts off, A is what, I can't even remember. It's been a little while since I've done it. A is what, is that what it is? B is what bubbles. Every one of those letters has a story behind it that people don't know, and they'll never know.
No, it's just for you.
But I will say, substitute teaching, it runs in the family. Like it was a family of substitute teachers, kind of. My mom did it, and she was saying that the kids couldn't say they didn't want to say wine. They had trouble saying Weinbach for some reason, and the kid was asking if they could call her Miss W or Mrs. W or whatever. And we started kind of turned into like, can I Miss Wine? What? How do you? Can I call you Mrs. W? You know, and then it became Bubble Zoo somehow. I mean, it went from W to we started kind of just morphing it into can I call you Bubble Zoo or something like that? Anyway, that's what that B Bubble Zoo is from. C is for sizzle.
Like it doesn't even make, it's like factually wrong.
Right, it doesn't even, it's just a phonetic
sizzle
thing. D is for these nuts. And that was before these nuts became as trendy as it is.
I think you helped launch these nuts.
I think I revitalized it, you know. I revived it.
You revived it.
In the 2000s, you know. Because it was big in the 90s.
Sure.
These nuts was huge. These nuts were huge.
These nuts are like chokers. They come and they go. Then they're back in.
Yeah, these nuts were huge back in the 90s. You can get them at Fred Siegel.
You can get them at Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah,
you can get these nuts.
These nuts were huge back then. You know?
These nuts.
Yeah. But then in the 2000s, people kind of forgot about these nuts, and so
they forgot about Dre and these nuts.
Well, because he kind of left the spotlight,
exactly,
and he was behind the scenes, and so then
these nuts
kind of went behind the scenes.
They went behind the scenes.
These nuts went behind the scenes,
behind the dick. I mean, Dick is front and center. Takes a lot of the spotlight.
Yeah,
the balls are like backup singers, huh?
They are.
They're doing so much work. Look, there's no future without nuts, but the dick gets all the shine.
Well, yeah. I mean, the balls are the back. They are the backup. They support the dick.
They're like Ford Tough. they're the backbone of America. But everyone wants to be a dick.
People need to start recognizing these nuts a little better more, you know?
Look, they're the workhorse. They generate the sperm, okay?
Right.
And then they're not
You're
glamorous.
Right. They're the songwriters, actually,
they're
in a way. The penis is just
the lead
sort of
singer.
The lead is just, it's just the lead
it's
singer.
Morgan Whalen just out there on stage.
It's spewing out the song.
It's spewing out all these songs.
But the producers are actually the balls.
Quincy Jones is one of the nuts.
Quincy Jones is the balls. And
Michael
the penis is Tevin Campbell. Oh, okay.
I like that you say Tevin Campbell.
Because Tevin Campbell, I feel it felt more like it feels more like that.
Sure. You know? I just like Tevin Campbell as a lead singer reference because I was going to go Michael Jackson, but that's too obvious.
Well, also Michael, I think, did do some ball work a little bit.
He did do, well, it gets murky. I guess, it's not a perfect example because sometimes I'll mention, like if you mention Bill Cosby, it can't be in a comedic effect without people bringing up all the baggage nowadays. Yeah. It's not a clean reference.
Oh yeah.
Some things aren't clean references anymore.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think Michael Jackson is a clean
Actually,
reference.
I kind of think Michael Jackson he's so big that he transcends any
That's
baggage.
A good point.
That I think you can actually.
Okay.
And by the way, I make Michael Jackson jokes all the time.
Hey, same
actually,
here.
I would say I'm one of the top Michael Jackson comedians in the country.
I'm gonna fight you on this.
Well, no, because I have a lot of Michael Jackson material. Yeah. I mean, I have a whole bit where you've seen it. Okay?
Yeah.
But and then actually, my friend Doug has some Michael Jackson stuff too.
Nice.
You have Michael Jackson?
I have Michael Jackson stuff.
I love Michael Jackson comedy.
It's one of my favorites.
It's like a genre.
It's like a subgenre of comedy.
Subgenre.
He's so big that he has
genres of comedy.
Of comedy.
I love Michael Jackson comedy, and I'll always do Michael Jackson comedy.
I'll always do Michael Jackson comedy as well.
My sister and I do a lot of Michael Jackson jokes we kind of do a podcast now.
It's just called the Michael Jackson Hour.
Well, it almost is, because we definitely joke around about him a lot. But
yeah. Where were we going?
No, this is what I was just talking about.
These nuts.
Tevin Campbell, though. I was gonna say, here's what I'm really gonna say: the balls could be Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam.
They're wearing fedoras on each nutsack. Like each ball has a fedora.
Because they're a songwriting team, so that makes sense.
Or they could be the Neptunes, like the Neptunes.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then who would the penis be if it's Jimmy Jam and
Terry Lewis?
Yeah, it's.
What if it's Janet Jackson? You do a curveball.
Probably be Janet, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess Janet makes the most sense. Yeah, it's Janet.
It's Janet.
The penis is Janet.
The penis is Janet. That's very progressive. That we can have a female penis.
Right. That's pretty cool, actually. The penis is actually. You know what's kind of funny? You ever think about this? I wonder if anybody's ever done this. But you know how people refer to their cars as women, kind of. Oh yeah, she's a beauty. Or whatever.
Yeah. Why not?
What
their
about
dick?
your penis? Like, oh yeah, she's great.
Sally.
She's amazing. Yeah. Oh, her name is.
You
Janet.
want to take Sally for a spin?
Yeah.
Like that's a pickup line with a chick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's a beauty. Check her out. She's a beauty. You're referring to your penis as a beauty, as a woman.
She goes, well, that's kind of gross, but it is progressive. I guess I will fuck him. He refers to his penis as a woman.
But those guys wrote a lot of songs too, and some songs I really like too.
Same here, dude.
Yeah.
You talking about Jimmy Jam?
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. You know that they were
part of Prince's
the time.
Yeah.
They were in the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit. I was trying to think. I mean, you do sketch. I do sketch. One thing that I remember. Well, I've done one of yours. I did.
That's not a sketch. That wasn't even a sketch. That's a short film.
Short film.
Short film. Yeah.
It's still out there, right?
Absolutely on Vimeo.
So
it's a
people,
Vimeo
check it out. It's called I Don't Dance, right?
Yeah.
It's called I Don't Dance, which is the opposite of me.
And
I do
Fahim steals the show.
I don't think I steal it.
Oh, absolutely.
You were so adamant about having me in it, which was like very cool because I'm a fan of yours and I like your stuff and I like your videos. And you were like, oh, like you had me in mind for it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was. I was writing it with you, thinking of you in it for sure.
I remember. I was
Sal's.
doing.
Go on. Well, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was doing La Jolla, so it was really hard for me to even do. I was driving because I had my shows in San Diego, and then I would drive up to Hollywood to film. So for 2 days, I was driving to San Diego and then coming back up to shoot the thing.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Like the dance studio stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just driving a ton, but it was worth it.
Well, I also
wanted
was
to be
kind of semi-inspired. But I mean, there were elements of it that were inspired by you and your stuff. Because,
how so? Okay, I'll bring this up. So we were doing Goatface stuff at the time. We were doing sketches on YouTube. You know, me, Aristotle, Hasan, and Asif. And we did this one sketch called Indian Spider-Man.
I love that sketch.
So that was Hasan's idea.
You're so good at playing the bully.
It's so funny because... again, it's a testament to your space brain or whatever, or what you zero in on. Nobody brings this up at all. Like, I'm such a blip in that sketch. I'm barely in it.
Oh my God.
This is Hasan's idea. He's like Spider-Man. He's the main guy in this sketch. I play this like school bully for 3 seconds, 5 seconds. I guess check it out. It's called Indian Spider-Man. Type in Hasan or Goatface and you could see it. But I'm barely in it. And we would see each other at the comedy clubs, and you just wouldn't stop talking about my bully scene in this little sketch, which is nothing to me.
It's so good because it's really nuanced, and it's really funny. I mean, it's my favorite part of the sketch.
That's hilarious to me.
It's so funny. You're really good at that role, you know?
You're the only person who has zeroed in on that and like brought it up in any capacity.
That's funny,
but I remember
it's really good.
Thanks. But we would have this conversation because I'm downplaying it and all that. And I'm like, oh, thanks. That's just it's a novelty to me that you like it this much. And then I like that we can get into really deep comedy conversations and like cultural conversations and stuff. But you brought up this notion that I really didn't have an idea about until this. Pastiche.
Oh yeah, pastiche. I love pastiche.
So I think you said this was that, right? Or what?
It is because you see, to me, okay, so parody is, you're making fun of something. You kind of imitate something in a way that makes fun of it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
give an example. What do you mean?
I mean, well, look, classic parody is Weird Al Yankovic, right? I mean, instead of beat it, it's eat it. And going back to Michael Jackson again. He's a Michael Jackson comedian, I guess. Yeah. Where you kind of change something and it's sort of this funny version of something or whatever, Like, it's not just it's not making fun of necessarily, not making fun of the thing, but it's using a thing and copying it, but changing it to making it so that it's a joke on that thing or something like that.
Do you think it's a more broad? It's like a broad... Is it just but isn't everything that? Anything comedic is a reference to something?
No, I mean, but it's copying the thing. It's doing the same song, but it's changing the lyric to eat it from beat it, and that's a parody, right?
Okay.
But then pastiche, though, is that it's not eat it, it's beat it. And so it's simulating this thing and the joke is how well you're simulating it. It's not about you change something to make it this joke, this other joke. The joke is in...
Look how close I can get to
the
this
joke
thing.
Is in the simulation of it, And in a way, impressions are kind of like that, but a lot of times people will put jokes in there, but there's no joke except for just doing a really good job recreating something or simulating some sort of nuance. And to me, the more nuanced it gets and the more you're able to really precisely recreate that nuance, the more pastiche it is to me in my mind. And I kind of think of that as postmodern comedy, you know, where that's the joke. The joke is imitating. So another example would be The Lonely Island did this this little web series called The Boo.
I love The Boo.
Okay, The Boo is pretty cool, right? Because it's, you know, they do a good job.
It's like the OC, right?
It's like the OC, right? Or something like that. It's a kind of, it starts out as a parody of the OC. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, there's not even any jokes anymore. It's that show. It's the OC.
Yes.
And that is even funnier. You know what I mean? And that is, to me, pastiche, is that the joke now is that this has become the OC. It's not even
about the jokes.
It's not even about any jokes. It's about the joke is just, this is doing a really good job doing one of those kind of shows. And so I think when I was referencing the bully thing is that, I don't know, that you were doing a really nuanced, it was very much capturing a bully kind of character and scene, I guess, in a movie that you would see.
You know
or
what?
Something like
it's
that.
Such a short scene. Let's take a moment. Let's take a look at it. We'll just give a few seconds. Miguel, throw it up there.
Okay.
Let's watch the scene, guys.
It's like at the movies, or it's at
Eber and Roper at the movies.
Yeah. It's funny you said Roper. I mean, I would
know.
say,
Wow, Siskel.
I mean, it's just funny
I'm
that you would
getting rid
say
of Gene.
Yeah. It's like, well, you know, it's
all right. Let's check it out for a few seconds. Here we go. Can I help you?
No, I'm good.
You dropped something.
What?
All right, yeah, that's pretty good.
Excellent.
I feel like we gave it even more time than I'm actually on screen. I probably gave like 10 seconds too much.
Yeah, that's so funny though. I mean, it's funny that we're over here just looking at this.
What do you mean?
It's corner of the wall.
What are you talking about? It went up there. We're not looking at a blank.
I know.
How do you feel about? I mean, still talking about pastiche. Because as we were talking, I go, oh, does this fit into that sketch from Lonely Island on SNL, the Dear Sister? Because I feel like that's pastiche that turns into parody the longer it goes on.
I don't know if I know that one. Is that the one where they're people are shooting? Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen that in a while. I kind of really remember.
I love that one.
I'm sure anything that is doing a good job. I mean, look, Reggie Watts does this a lot, where he goes into characters. And it's not even about what he's saying. It's about just the essence of what he's doing. You know what I mean? Or he's just recreating these really familiar archetypal or kind of these familiar tropes and things. And the language he uses, it's reminiscent of something, but he's not saying anything really in particular.
You know, I've kind of learned that too about comedy as well. Sometimes it can be a vibe. Like a vibe is almost enough too. Like a vibe can be funny or just kind of eliciting a certain feeling.
Vibe is the most important thing. Vibe is the most important thing.
Yeah.
To me, it's always about. It doesn't even matter what they're saying. It's how they're saying it, you know, and their energy on stage presence. That's to me. I mean, you probably disagree, but 75% of stand-up comedy to me is
vibe.
It's just the presence, you know,
and
and just how you're delivering, and like how just the energy that you are projecting, and that's to me what makes something really funny. It's how you say it, you know? Because to me, I mean, a big part of Mitch Hedberg to me was his vibe, yeah.
Because the jokes were so funny, but then he was so like awkward and uncomfortable. But then there's like a lovable thing peeking through.
Yeah, it's the way he said stuff, and sometimes just people, the way they talk is just funny, you know, and the way they describe things are funny. You know?
Yeah, and even just like certain voices. Some people just have great comedy voices.
Exactly,
it's almost like being Axl Rose or something.
To me, I think that you're a good comedian when people can do impressions of you, you know? So when people are doing impressions of Hedberg or whoever, or Seinfeld or whoever, you know, they have a comedy, they have a persona that...
It's a music that people can kind of...
Music, yeah. It's a music. And I think a lot of the best jokes are jokes you can watch over and over again and still laugh at, you know? And they are like songs. Yeah. You know? Even if you know where they're going.
It's all about crowd work now, baby. What are you talking about? Jokes are done, dude. What do you do for a living?
Well, actually, that's crowd work is... That's like improvisation and jazz or something. Yeah, I mean, crowd work is very pure too, as comedy too, because it's just,
it does tap into that childhood thing.
Just the spontaneous sort of thing.
I think crowds appreciate, or I mean, why they love crowd work so much is that they understand that it's just for this room. It's fleeting.
Yeah, it's special. It's a special moment. It's just,
There's no artifice. There's no, he wrote this.
Right. And I think that a lot of 90s comedians didn't like that about 80s comedy. It was that I think that there was this movement at one point to not have an act because that was corny, that they this is all constructed and everything. I don't agree with that sensibility, but or whatever, that I don't agree with that, but I think that's why in the 90s they kind of try to move away from acts, you know. Or some
it
comics
was more
did.
autobiographical.
Or no, it was just more they were trying to be real and try to talk about something fresh and talk about something. I think a lot of alternative comics were trying to do that. That's what that alternative.
Or they had to have
about.
A new set every week.
Or just some of these talk about what happened that day and just find jokes on the spot about what happened during the day or whatever. Of course, if you find something really good, you're going to use it again, and so that kind of goes. You know, they're not going to. Stick to that or adhere to that kind of, I don't know.
Or they will, but then they'll keep the gems when they do the road or do the act, but they'll still...
Something like that. I don't know. But, but there's always, obviously, there's all these phases and sort of what's trendy in comedy. But that is something really special about crowd work is that it's you can't... It's a special one-time thing for these people, that is cool. I think that's really pure. There's something pure about that. I really think, yeah.
Do you do a lot of crowd work or no?
Not a lot. I sometimes I have, and I can sometimes.
Well, some of your bits, you kind of need the interaction to launch into something, and then some other thing can happen.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That can be fun.
Definitely, yeah. No. I mean, yeah, there's a bit where I'm calling for, I do kind of basically bad impressions, but I kind of try my best at them,
Yeah.
And, that can lead into some crowd work, actually. That could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, it's good. I mean, when the magic happens, that's the thing. When the magic happens, it's fun. When you think of things on the spot and you get some good riffs going, that's great.
I think just from like an algorithmic standpoint, it's frustrating when you have these bits or whatever that you put on the internet, and it won't do as well as just like okay crowd work. You know what I mean? Because crowd work is just so sexy.
Oh yeah. That's interesting.
Just people's appetite for crowd work is so much
is that you
larger than.
That?
Yeah, you just notice trends on the internet and everything. Like crowd work always does so much better than like just like a polished bit.
Yeah, that's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've posted any crowd work clips or anything, but yeah.
And then it's also kind of created this marketplace for it too, where you'll see it. Everyone has cameras around the clubs now, and it's just kind of like going into the audience because they want to get more crowd work clips. So it's just everyone is crowd work mining a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't like showing the audience really in stand-up stuff.
Oh,
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I generally don't. Because I don't like when you show the audience for laughter reasons.
I'll have back of the heads. I don't have a reverse camera where I'm talking to someone and then you see their faces and stuff. I feel like you can hear. I like the facelessness of a crowd too.
Yeah,
there's something cool about that. Joe List said something on a podcast, and I never really thought about it this way. He goes, "I enjoy listening to comedy albums because it feels like I'm there."
Oh yeah.
When I'm listening to the album.
Yeah.
When I'm watching, he says, when I'm watching a stand-up show, I'm looking at the audience enjoying a show. You can't psychologically be immersed in the crowd like you can with audio. And I go, oh, that is true. When you listen to something, it feels like you're in the audience.
Yeah.
When you're watching, you don't really feel like because you can see the audience that you're not a part of.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting.
And I think when it comes to crowd work too, I don't mind just having back of heads.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sort of playing into it a little bit too. If a crowd work thing happens, I'll throw it up. But it's just something that I've noticed.
No, that's cool. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, actually, crowd work makes sense to see the audience. But if you're just doing a bit, I don't know. I don't really like comedy specials when they show the audience laughing just for the sake of laughter.
I agree. Because it almost seems like you're doubling down too much, or you don't trust yourself. Like, look, these people are having a good time.
Also, stay on. I want to see the performer. Just stay on the performer. I don't want to cut. Because again, maybe it kind of goes back to I want to feel like I'm watching the show and watching that person. And not cutting to an audience member. That'd be funny if I did that in real life though. If I'm at a comedy show and I'm laughing and I'm going, it's good, huh? Like looking back at a person and seeing them.
If you had like a PowerPoint behind you, like a screen, and you like after a joke, you just turn it on, and it's just like a shot of other people laughing in the crowd, just to prove.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
You have a reaction
it stays
shot.
on stage.
Yeah,
right. That's a workaround, I guess. Yeah, that way you don't then have to cut. But
I forgot about the story. I mean, remind me. You did Ferguson a while ago, right? Was this your first late night?
Yeah, it was my first late night. It was my
And you
first. It
crushed.
was my first major TV.
You crushed,
credit,
right?
Yeah, but yeah. It did
Were you
really
living
well.
in San Francisco or were you living here?
I was living in San Francisco. Yeah.
And then how did the booking come to be? How many years in to stand up were you doing it?
About 4 or 5 or something like that.
4 or 5
yeah,
years. And so you're already making waves. You're like kind of a guy in San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely. No. I had just gone to Aspen.
Aspen, that was the HBO.
HBO comedy festival in Aspen. Yeah, a comedy arts festival. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd done that, and then
And is that where they saw you?
I don't think so. The booker of it at the time was Adrian Culp, who he booked. Did he? I'm trying to remember. Well, he was booking that show at the time, and I think he also worked at Happy Madison at the time too.
Okay.
But I don't know how it happened exactly, but he saw me at the Improv or something, and started talking to me about doing Ferguson, and
then what was that process? Was he like, send me a set?
I don't even
Or
remember
did he
now.
say, I like this set, just do this for the show?
Yeah.
Did you have to work? Because a lot of times when you do late night,
Right.
you have to submit,
Right.
and then they go, I like this, I don't like this. And then you
Yeah.
submit it again, they go, I like this, we'll take that out. So it's this massaging that goes back.
I think I probably sent him a tape maybe of the
Uh-huh.
set I wanted to do or something, and either that or, gosh, I'm trying to remember. Actually, prior to him, I think Bart Coleman was booking.
I love Bart. Bart gave me my first late night set.
Oh, yeah.
I did Seth Meyers.
Oh, that was
That was
Bart?
my
Yeah.
first time ever doing late night.
Yeah.
And I'm always grateful to the people who give you your first thing, because everything following that is so much easier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
easier for me to do Conan 2 times. It was
Mhm.
easier for me to do Tonight Show. It's just that barrier of entry of doing it the first time was always the toughest.
Mhm.
And Bart was just so great. He was like, yep, that works. It wasn't this huge back and forth. He was like, I love it.
Yeah, he helped me out. He saw me. He came to Matt Besser's show in San Francisco that he was doing, and I was opening for it. And he saw me there, and then he said, "Oh, he worked at Comedy Central," and I think he was booking Ferguson at the time, actually. And I was talking to him about doing either Premium Blend or Ferguson, and it never happened. But then Adrian Culp, I guess, took over,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know, maybe it picked up from where that conversation left off or something like that. But I sent him a set, or I did the set somewhere, or I did it at the Improv or something like that, and he saw it and he said, "Yeah, let's do that." Anyway, it was approved and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, taped the set, had a great set, applause breaks and stuff, and it was.
Was Ferguson there? Because I heard that he wouldn't be there for the
He was
stand-up
not
set.
there.
That's kind of annoying.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, he was not there.
Because that's one of the perks of doing late night is that you have this high-profile late night host
Yeah.
who gets to watch your
I
set,
know.
and it's
And I feel if he saw it, or
he
was
would have
there,
enjoyed it.
I think he might
would have
might
said
he might have
something.
fought for it. Maybe.
So
He
people
might
don't know
have
the
fought-
story. Okay, so finish. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh
you.
no, I it's fine. I just had a great set, and they were saying, okay, it's anyway. The short of it, I'm sorry, is that a network executive didn't feel, they thought, because I don't know, you were talking about my
Space brain.
or whatever, or they just, I'm kind of deadpan and
You're
I don't know.
unorthodox. When you go up there,
It's a little bit. It's it's not. It's not a conversational act.
do your impression, because you would have it in your act. Do your impression of a traditional comedian.
Well, a traditional comedian is, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm blah 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 blah. This is me. Hey, I'm not doing my.
Hey, you don't
bit,
make fun of me, dude. Okay.
this this is me. I mean, look, this is whatever. Conversational. Hey, so
Yeah.
what's going on? What's in the news? I mean, this happened the other day. Okay, so this happened the other day.
No,
I was walking to the.
you would do this thing about your wife or whatever when
Yeah,
you're doing
or like
things are great, but you do.
Well, I do a lot of
voice, too.
cliches
Sure,
that
sure, sure.
that I feel like cliche in
Sure.
comedy. You're saying saying I'm single, so I'm single. After you say something off-putting, you say so I'm single, so I'm single, and I and that's another thing too. And I those
Yeah, there are little like comedy
signalers. They signal. Oh, that's where the joke is. I call them artificial signalers because they're kind of these. They're these very rehearsed moments where people will sound like they're being off the cuff, but they're
but
not.
you see them every time.
Yeah, and they're specifically there to signal that that's where you laugh. But anyway,
Hey, that was just one of them right there. No. I'm just kidding. Anywho,
yeah, right, you're right. Anyway, I kind of go on and I'm doing my thing, which is a lot more presentational and kind of performative.
yeah, you have these set pieces, kind of.
And anyway, someone there thought it was that wouldn't, even though the set was went really well,
Yeah.
they thought it wouldn't go well with the TV, the home at home audience, I guess. And Ferguson's crowd is older, I guess, and they thought, that it wouldn't appeal. Even though I can perform well in front of old people, it doesn't matter, But yeah, they just had a very limited idea of what they thought, how well they thought it would do on TV, I guess. So they didn't air it. And I never got a copy of it, and I almost got a copy of it once. Somebody who worked at CBS, actually, there were two different people. Because it's there still at TBS in the vaults.
You know what you got to do? You got to make like a mini documentary or something of like tell the story, and it's your search to get your hands on this tape. Like you were wronged. This is insanity. That the fact that you're 4 or 5, this is crushing. You're older now. You've done enough things in the business, and it's fine. But I'm angry. It's this many years later, and I'm angry about it because you smashed in front of a live audience. That's a huge. These are people visiting from Oklahoma, from Ohio, from. It's not all like coastal elites in the audience. You did really well when it mattered. So that was the litmus test for would it play with an American audience.
It was definitely a big deal for me. It was
a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was
I did the Tonight Show recently, and just because it was a fun thing to do, it doesn't move the needle at all.
That would at that time in the mid 2000s.
It was huge.
It would have helped me.
It
would have helped me definitely. Yeah.
So the fact that you did really well in front of this live studio audience, which is a cross section of America, and just the whim of some guy says, I don't think it'll play, even though the proof is in the pudding. Like,
it might have been some gal, actually, but yeah.
Guy or gal, whoever it is, some bonehead decision. And like, this is someone who really, it's one night. Who gives a shit? And it was a good set. It's not like
I know that's the thing. If I bombed, I could sort of understand it, but it was a good set.
It's a good set. And then also, why have you on the program? This is everybody's fuck up but yours, and you are being penalized for it.
Yeah, I tried to get a copy of it, and I think almost did, and I did, but then they got scared that if they, if people found out that they gave it to me, then they would get in trouble. And it's there. I thought about that too. It'd be maybe kind of a funny, even mockumentary for me to try to break into CBS and go through the vaults and try to find the set and stuff.
And you could have setbacks too. Like, it's not worth it. I should just give up. Like, no, dude, you got to find that tape.
Well, I wonder if it was a real documentary.
I think it's worth it.
But I feel like it'd be easy to get if it was a real documentary. You know what I mean?
Who cares? Then it's a 5-minute web video.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I think
it's all set up to be like this long,
this con film festival thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, here it is. And you go,
yeah.
Oh,
I just talked to somebody at CBS, or I asked my agent, can you put me in touch with someone at CBS to get this? And they say like, oh, it's for a documentary. Yeah, sure, we can dig that up.
I don't know if we're supposed to be here. Like, oh no, you can be here. It's okay. Is that a camera? What kind of camera is that? Okay, we're in the elevator. We're definitely gonna get stopped. And then they go, yeah, here's a thumb drive. It should all be there. We have it in high def, and we also upscaled it to 8K.
That's funny. Yeah.
You go, oh, I kind of wanted this to be an 1.5-hour documentary. I don't know what to tell you. The credits can be longer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just really slow credits. They're just inching their way up the screen. I do want to see the set.
I want to see it too.
I want to see the set. It's
Please tell me that you will try to get it and then film it and do a little mini doc on it.
I got it. Yeah, I mean, I need a lead. How about this? What if you made it with me?
Whoa. How does that work?
I don't know. You could just be my partner in this, or just as somebody who just thought,
let's get a hold of this.
I want you to do this, and maybe you're not motivated enough to do it yourself, so I'm getting into the mix, and I'm going to help you do this.
Right.
And then we can kind of have a fun. We can get a board, with thumbtacks and stuff,
and like yarn,
and try to figure out some kind of.
Like the yarn doesn't even make sense. It's just it's a producer just tied to Chipotle, even though he never went there.
Or it's just there's a yarn, there's a producer, and it just ties with CBS, and that's it. That's the only thing. It's just
and then a cup of coffee. Like we saw him have coffee.
Yeah. There's a cup of coffee on the side.
We know that much. Yeah, get it.
I just anyway, I'd like to get it. I want to get that. But that was pretty heartbreaking at the time, though. Yeah.
Have you done late night since or no?
Yeah.
Which one you do?
Lopez.
Oh yeah.
I did Conan. Lopez, That's it though. I almost was gonna do. It seemed like I was almost gonna do the Tonight Show about 6 or 7 years ago. But
was Cox running it?
Yeah. Is he not now?
No, he is.
And he reached out to me and seemed like he was interested, and I sent him a set that would do really well on the show, but I don't know. He didn't end up.
It's weird. I mean, this town, some people will be fans, other people won't, other people will be indifferent. It's just the way it is. You can't have everybody love you. And then
That
when you
doesn't
do,
make sense. Yeah.
you're Kevin Hart. It's a foregone conclusion at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's you just get used to things like that happening.
Not everyone's gonna love what you do.
I've had a lot.
You just need enough.
I have a lot of stuff that I shoot that doesn't air, or doesn't see the light of day.
Oh, you mean like Hollywood stuff?
Yeah, or I mean, after that Ferguson thing happened, a couple years later, I hosted this show on MTV. Do you know about this?
No.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I don't know if I do. What is it?
It was a show called Room 401, and it was kind of like a prank show. It was kind of like Scare Tactics. It was like a scary prank show, but you used magicians. Magicians created the pranks, kind of. So they use magic tricks. I mean,
To
kind
scare
of,
people.
Yeah, to do sort of illusions that would scare people or whatever. And in that show they don't even show the reveal, or they don't show the thing that's, oh, you're on camera. They just show people getting scared and that's it. But anyway, it was produced by Ashton Kutcher.
Oh shit.
And yeah, there was magicians that wrote for the show and worked on it. And anyway, they wanted a kind of, or I don't know. Anyway, I got cast to be the host of it, and it was, they kind of were going for like a Rod Serling kind of thing, or a younger Rod Serling. Rod Serling, he did Twilight Zone. He's the host of Twilight Zone, the creator of Twilight Zone. And they were kind of doing like a younger thing. So I was wearing a suit, and
imagine this, if you will.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't quite like that, but it was more just in my own kind of voice, but doing something kind of like that, And everyone was really pleased with what I was doing. The director of it was this guy who directed The Real World. I did a lot of Real World seasons. But yeah, everyone was happy with it and everything. And then the week before, the Thursday before the Tuesday that it was supposed to air, the first episode was supposed to air, there was these layoffs at MTV, and the person who took over the people overseeing the show at MTV got laid off, and the person taking it over, he was making changes to a bunch of shows.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't like that. He didn't like my whole thing at all. He didn't like I was wearing a suit. He didn't like, I think, probably my vibe or whatever. And so they cut me. I was cut out of the show completely. And they reshot, I guess that weekend they reshot some of the host stuff with actor Jared Padalecki.
Who's he from?
He's in a show called Supernatural. So I think they also thought, there can be kind of a crossover thing here.
Oh.
But he's, had long...
He had a tank top like, hey guys, this would be crazy.
Well, it wasn't that far from what you're saying.
That's hilarious.
It was, I mean, look, they didn't replace me.
He was on a BMX and he had Go-Gurt, and he was like, hey guys, this would be crazy if this happened. Wow.
Right. Well, it was kind of like that in a way. Not that he's like that, but...
I'm too young to wear a suit. Wow.
It was kind of like that. The idea was that he had, a button up. I mean, he had an unbuttoned chest kind of thing going,
right.
long blonde hair.
Hairless chest?
Might have been. He might have used some
Of
TOPSTICK.
course.
He probably used some TOPSTICK. And that's where that
TOPSTICK.
makes sense, I guess.
Sure.
That's the top.
The thing is, with that MTV audience, you can't have a hairy chest because the girls don't know they like it yet. They need to be in their late 20s to 30s before they realize I've been lying to myself.
Yeah, that's right.
You
it's a coming of age moment.
Yeah, you can't have an MTV host with chest hair.
Well, you definitely can't have an MTV host with a suit on, I guess. Apparently, that was a note that I remember I was talking to, I don't know, I think it was Aziz or Paul Scheer or someone, I don't know, about Human Giant, but
Yeah.
I think that same guy who was overseeing things, I think made a note to them that was no suits unless it takes place in an office. You can't, no suits on MTV.
Yeah.
Unless it takes place in an office, unless a sketch takes place in an office. Yeah. So anyway, it was cut. I was cut out. They reshot it with Jared Padalecki, and it's kind of crazy. Anyway,
Good for Jared Padalecki.
I was already kind of used to stuff like that happening, I guess, because of the Ferguson thing. But
right.
But that would have helped my career.
Yo,
too.
try to get it. Do you have a copy of that?
No, I would like to see that,
bro. That's the follow up to the first
The
documentary.
only thing that exists, which is really interesting, is that on YouTube there's one promo clip, and I don't know how this got leaked or what, but it's a promo clip with my voice. Kind of you just hear my voice, but it's weird though because my voice sounds higher. Actually, it sounds almost.
They just pitched it up.
It sounds a little bit pitched.
That's pretty.
It sounds weird. It's a little weird actually, but you can find that clip online. It's weird. It's like a leaked. It looks like a leaked piece of footage.
What if they try to use special effects? They didn't even cut you out, but they just tried to put you in a tank top over the suit. You know what I mean? So they keep you in there.
Put blonde hair on me, long blonde hair.
Yeah, they keyframe it so it follows you.
That's
and they
really
change your
funny.
voice and they add dudes. Like they add, dude, this is gonna be crazy.
That'd be cool, actually.
They go, I like this guy in a tank
That's
top
the
and
next.
a long flowing
Maybe that's
hair.
part of the documentary to make it longer. Was you try to get that footage because that's probably in a vault somewhere.
You say, look, there's nothing wrong with my performance. He just doesn't like the suit and my overall vibe. But with AI and editing techniques, we can really hippify me.
Okay, the first act of or whatever is getting the Ferguson set, and that's easy enough. Then the next act is me getting the footage of me from the MTV show, right?
Right.
Then the last act is getting special effects people to make that
make you
work,
hip.
make it MTV friendly. And that's
And then the next one is trying to get it to air.
yeah. And then the next one is I become a big MTV star,
sensation.
you know? Yeah. I start hosting MTV
No,
Spring
and
Break.
then the next
you know?
act is like you like how well it looks and you want to do cosmetic surgery to become that.
And then that's what the documentary is really about: is my transition into
This surfer bro.
this blonde boy. Yeah.
And then you start surfing and stuff, and you kind of make friends with this Malibu community.
Okay,
So
now
for-
we're getting somewhere here. This is
Yeah,
actually getting somewhere.
It's almost just turning like mental illness into like a Cannes Film Festival short film documentary.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's
And then the last shot is you just paddling out onto the sunset because this is your new life and you're happy transitioning because you just learned that you wanted to be a bro your whole life.
My whole
this-
persona changes.
This MTV exec knew that this is what you were meant to be, and you didn't even know that you were fighting it. You wanted to be the guy in the suit.
right.
And then you learn to just give in. You're in LA. The water's right there. It's so close, and you never went to the beach, and now you live there.
And it's sponsored by TOPSTICK.
And it's sponsored by
'Cause I
TOPSTICK.
have-
Because you have to do the hair.
I don't have much hair on my chest, but the little I have,
TOPSTICK take cares of it. What if it starts to grow in, and then you're afraid that your surfer bros are going to see that you have a hairy chest, and you have to, you don't want them to know who you really are. So you have. It's a mad dash to find TOPSTICK. So you can be squeaky.
That sounds good. I mean, this is really an exciting project, I think.
I think we just do the podcast.
I think you
thing.
need to be involved, though, you know.
Can I be an EP?
That I was just going to say. You need to be an executive producer, definitely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait till the writer strike is over. And,
I kind of want to
and
see you in
then-
it, too, though. I feel like you could add some
flavor to it?
flavor to it in some kind of way.
For
you
sure.
know, like,
Sort of like
Yeah.
investigative reporter. Like, why are you running?
yeah.
Brent deserves his tape back.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you
yeah.
hiding from?
Yeah.
I feel like we got to come out of a van always too.
I think you could be definitely like my
You
strong
know, I just thought about this funny. Whenever they roll up on people, like Punked or these investigative, they always come out of a van. But it'd be funny if they came out of a really small car, like a Volkswagen Bug or
That's
something.
funny. Yeah, it's like clowns coming out of us.
Yeah, it's like an investigative reporting team, and they come out of a Fiat.
That's really funny. It's a Fiat, and there's a whole crew coming out of there. A boom operator.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Like
Cameraman.
It's like a clown investigative reporting. So
That's funny. A Fiat rolls up, and you shoot it in a way where maybe everyone's come. You know, you don't show the one side of the car, so you can have everyone coming up. You could actually do that. This is actually a good sketch.
Yeah.
Is that a ton of people are coming out
Excuse
of
me,
this Fiat.
sir. And then
Yeah.
just like all these people are coming out.
Yeah, it's like Mary Poppins, you know, and she's pulling out all the stuff out of the
And then
purse.
finally in the wide shot, there's 40 people who came out of
Yeah.
this Fiat.
That's good. That's a sketch right there.
That's a sketch, dude. Is it clown news or is it just regular people?
So I think the idea is it's reminiscent of clowns, you know, but they don't look like clowns.
Not at
Or
all.
is that funnier if they do look like clowns?
It might be funny if they do look like clowns, and
So it is clown news. So it's clown news or something like that,
Yeah.
you know?
It's hard hitting.
Yeah.
They're tired of
Okay.
people thinking
Yeah.
that clowns are a joke.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they care about like local politics.
Yeah.
And things that are
that's
affecting.
it. That's the sketch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So
makes
it's
sense.
hard hitting clown news. Like
Yeah.
we're tired of being the butt of everyone's joke.
Yeah, we
because
want to be
have-
taken seriously
Just because
here.
we have red noses and rainbow afros and giant feet.
Rainbow afros.
Right.
That's a really funny line. Just because we have rainbow afros. That's really a funny line. Just because you have red noses and rainbow afros doesn't mean we shouldn't be taken seriously. We're people, and we care about issues that are happening in the world.
Yeah, and you're like, not now.
Yeah.
Not now. I'm conducting a real interview.
Or it's like this, yeah. Or you hear the, I got to take this, you know, and then like
It's a phone call? It's the ringtone?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay, I'll pick her up. Yeah, no, I can pick her up. Yeah. Okay, bye. It's my,
Here you go.
it's my wife.
There may not be enough room in the car because there's already 50 people in there.
But that's
It's
funny
already
to,
pretty tight.
to talk about their integrity and how much they take things seriously, and then it shows them on the scene for some hard hitting, situation that they're trying to capture.
Yeah.
And then it rolls up, and they're just pouring out of this little car, and it's
doesn't
all
stop.
these. That is the joke, right?
That's the
there.
joke. And I also like that there are clowns who are tired of being like the serious clown.
Yeah.
Who's dressed like this.
Yeah.
And is tired and doesn't want to do the trope. Like, I don't want to play your daughter's party.
This feels like it's had to have been done, right? So a clown wanting to be taken more seriously.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition is so clean that it would just be funny to see a guy dressed like that.
Imagine a clown. He goes into a shoe store, and the guy's
Trying to
like,
get
"Yeah,
fitted.
so what?
Do you have any size 40s?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they say. So what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for pretty much kind of like a dress shoe, but
I could dress it up and dress it down.
just shoe, but it's
some-
something in a size 50, size 60,
50, 60, also works on a tricycle.
Yeah. Also has a grip, so that I can get those kind of
They go,
that it can work like unicycle pedals can kind of
can fit on it.
Yeah.
They go, we have this novelty SHAQ size shoe. And you go, it's a little small.
Or he's trying it on and he's going, yeah, it feels a little tight. It feels a little tight.
We have a Yao Ming one. Yeah, let me try that on. Nah, it's still a little tight. Let me know if you get any bigger inventory.
That's funny. It's a little tight.
It's a little tight.
That'd be funny if Shaq had a line of shoes. Does he have a line of shoes?
He did.
He
I
did.
mean, it wasn't like they weren't all giant.
That'd be funny though if his line of shoes were
Yeah.
these giant shoes.
I just thought, it'd be cool if you got a speedboat that looked like Shaq's shoe.
a speedboat.
Right? You just get a shoe on the ocean and it just looks like Shaq's
That's
shoe.
funny, yeah.
And it has like the Shaq tongue and everything because he has a line of shoes and it's him dunking on.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
And I think he sold it with it was maybe Walmart or some sort of like low. He didn't do the Nike thing. He wanted low income kids to be able to afford his shoes, which is I appreciate the thought in that, and that is sweet. But when you have a low income shoe like that, low income kids don't want it. You know what I mean? Because then they get made fun of, like, you got them poor Shaq shoes.
Right.
They want the things that financially don't make sense.
How can we fix that? How can we make
That's why my shoes are $500 for the kids who want to be cool.
It's so the children don't. So for the kids,
They don't get bullied.
So they don't get made fun of.
Yeah.
That's why I have to charge. I have to charge you $500 for this. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later.
Parents, I know it seems like a lot of money, but take out a loan.
It's for your kids'
It's
well-being.
for your kids. Do you want to get beat up
It's
every
for
day?
the safety of your
It's for
children.
the safety of your kids that I charge $500 for my basketball shoes.
I'm trying to think of how you can fix it though, so that the shoes can be affordable. I mean, they can be $50
No kid
shoes.
wants affordable clothes.
No, but they don't know.
So it's like a fake price. The kids think it's $500, but the parent price is $20.
I don't know what it is or how it works, but we have to think of a solution where the actual transaction is low. It's $20,
Okay.
right? But somehow nobody knows that. How does that work?
You have to get a stolen shoe or something, and that's how you're getting it that cheap.
Yeah, okay. What about something where the parents know how much it costs, but the kids think it's a lot?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Well, they have to be pretty young then, because once kids get to school, kids are pretty smart, and they'll be like, those are those cheap shoes. You know what I mean? That's where the real shit happens.
Those are those cheap shoes.
Because like, you are insulated when you're at home. When you're a kid, your mom or whoever will be like, you look great. You're so handsome. And then you go to school, and school's the real world.
No, it's true.
And then they tell you what's up with your outfit.
No, it's true. There's got to be a way.
The only
How about
way...
this? How about this? They inform the cashiers. Don't charge them for this. Just show, or there's something they have to. It's a special covert plan, and they have to sign an NDA, right? Where the shoes are priced at $500, whatever, even $200.
So the Sunday ads that come out, it says
everything is
$500.
advertised as $200.
Billboards, $500.
But anybody who buys it,
You get it for $20.
You get it for $20, and the cashiers are in on it. The stores are in on it, but they sign an NDA, and then the parents have to sign an NDA also when they pay for it, and they see that they're only charged.
They have to use a special $500 bill that they can purchase
I don't know.
for $20.
I don't know how you do it. You got to do something where they don't know, and the kids don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, and then I don't know.
It's too hard.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's an unsolvable problem. Yeah. Gosh, that's an unsolvable
it's a
problem.
tough one.
That's a tough one. Maybe the documentary should be about that.
I don't know. I like the previous. I don't like this hard pivot into. I want to see you get your tape back.
Yeah, I want tapes. I want to get the tapes.
Yeah, it's a VHS. They go, we didn't digitize it.
I want to see that. And anyway,
I think you could do it.
But did you ever have to get expensive shoes when you were a kid?
Not really. I mean, what would I do? My mom used to get me and my brother Payless shoes when we were little kids.
Same here, yeah. Of course, Payless.
I think we wanted Jordans or something, and then she got us
Pro Wings.
What is it?
Pro Wings.
Oh, that was the one you got?
Pro Wings were the Payless kind of,
so
athletic shoe or whatever, yeah.
So she got us these sneakers called the XJ900s.
Okay.
My brother keeps his baseball cards in an XJ9. I'm surprised he still has the box.
Oh, wow.
And the box says XJ900.
Really?
To me, that's just so funny that there were these Payless executives who thought if we name our shoes like a fighter jet or something, it's going to be on par with Air Jordans.
Right, yeah.
Like, kids can't resist having XJ900s.
How much were Air Jordans?
I think a lot from the jump. I could be wrong. Maybe not at the very, very beginning because they're trying to get market share.
Yeah.
But I think they've been pretty expensive for a pretty long time.
How much are they now?
Some of them could be $500. They're rare. They're collector items now.
Do they still make new Air Jordans?
Yeah, every year there's a new Air Jordan.
And how much are those now? Or can those be collector items?
They can appreciate some because it's
Do you
all
know about shoes? Do you have a lot of shoes?
Aristotle does. He's actually done the podcast where he brings Jordans
really?
on, has latex gloves and shit. Yeah. I don't know
really.
that much.
He uses gloves.
He uses. I had to wear
my
gloves to handle these things.
That's really funny and interesting. How many shoes do you have?
Maybe like 8 or. The thing is,
wow,
is that a lot?
I have 4 shoes.
That's it?
Yeah.
The thing is, my shoes don't go bad, really.
I have 4 shoes, and that's just 2 pairs. No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, my daily drivers, I have these Adidas ones that I wear pretty much all the time. But then I have different like style options. I don't think I have that many. 8
shoes, that's kind of a lot, actually.
I might have more, actually.
You could wear a different shoe every day.
I guess I could.
I mean, and then some.
And then a bag of chips.
Yeah. I just have my white sneakers that are Reeboks,
Are you wearing
that I'm wearing right now. And
Yo,
I wear
show the people.
And I wear these most of the time. Now, I'm wearing these out longer than I normally would wear them for,
Sure.
Because they stopped making, for some stupid reason, decided to change the style in 2019, or the design, the design of these shoes, this specific style. And I've been wearing this style, I've been wearing this shoe since 2004.
Right.
And then they got trendy for some reason in 2017-ish or whatever. And then
it's because of you.
In 2009, I revived
People are like,
them.
you got the Weinbachs?
Yeah, no, the Brent Reeboks. Brent Reeboks.
The Brent Reeboks.
Or the wine. And then they changed the design. So I don't want to go into it too much, but these are different than if you bought the same model now,
they
it's
look
different.
different.
So anyway, I have 4 pairs of these that I found old stock of.
Oh, nice.
In around 2019 or so. I found old stock on eBay. I bought them out all in my size. So I have 4 pairs of these in my closet that are I'm trying to make these last as long as possible. So I'm wearing them longer than I normally would. And I'm going to try to make those other 4 pairs
last a lifetime
to the rest of my life. Yeah.
So if you need to, you'll have to die sooner just to you're going to kill yourself if you can't find them.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no more the Reeboks that I want are not available.
They get too dirty, your last pair, and you go, well, it's been a good run.
It's like it's pretty much just like a tongue on my foot. The rest of the shoe is just
withered
wasted away. Yeah, it's just a tongue.
You just tape the tongue to your ankle?
My ankle. Yeah, and then finally the tongue falls off, and I go,
it's time to go.
We had a good run, didn't we? It's over. But I have that. I have a kind of a more, what do you call it? Dress casual kind of shoe. That's a brown kind of shoe. You know. Then I have these black suede shoes that are also kind of, and then I have very nice for a suit kind of shoe. You know, that, and that's it. That's all I have.
Here's an idea. What about a reversible shoe? Is there such a thing?
You mean they're dress shoes and sneakers?
Sure, and then they could also be dress shoes that are brown and then black, reversible.
Oh,
Yo,
interesting.
I'm coming
like a
up
belt,
with.
like
I'm
a
fucking
belt.
Shark Tanking on every episode,
like
dude.
Yeah, like a belt. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that's funny.
Mark Cuban, are you in? Mr. Wonderful.
So black and brown. You can
And then
switch
it could be a triple thing: black and brown and athletic.
Wow.
You can play pickup ball with it.
Now, how can you do that?
Yo, that's for the nerds to figure out. I'm Steve Jobs.
Here's an idea.
Please.
They're kind of like decals. You know, they're kind of like these wraps that you put on the shoe to change the style.
Like a car wrap?
You
like
have like a car wrap. You have a base, you know, for the shoe, and then depending on what look you're going for, they're a sort of more textured kind of wrap that goes on the shoe they make them look like the shoe that you need it to be, you know?
That's awesome. I'm into it.
And you can have a wide variety of shoes.
You would have so many styles. Then it's like you're getting slip covers for a couch or something, right? You have a baseline shoe that forms really good to your foot. Yeah. But it's amorphous. It's kind of just bare bones.
Well, you just
have shape.
You just have the layers you put on, and they stick on easily, and they can take off easily, and then you can also maybe get styles that are out of fashion, like mine, you know, and stuff like that, you know, or not out of fashion, out of print.
It's almost like emulators or something.
Yeah, it's like emulators for your feet. For shoes. Yeah, emulators. They're emulators.
Yo, this is the worst marketing because like nobody knows what the fuck emulators are unless you're a nerd who knows computers and like video games.
That's what it's called. It's called the emulator.
It's called emulators. And
the emulator.
The emulator. And then we do ads on radio where it goes, emulator. Mount up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Emulators,
mount up.
It was a clear black. But then we do facts about the shoe.
It was a clear black shoe.
And we actually get Warren G to do it because he could use the money, right? Like maybe he didn't save. All these people are doing Geico commercials who used to be huge.
Right.
Why wouldn't Warren G do a parody? It was a clear black shoe, a clear white shoe. Warren G was on the street.
It was a clear black shoe, a clear white shoe. It can go either way because they're the emulator.
They're the emulators. Emulators.
Wait, Warren G was on the street trying to find a shoe.
Oh my god.
trying to. It actually kind of rhymes with trying to consume.
Look, this idea is we did product fit, we did design, we did R&D, we did marketing, all in the span of 5 to 7. That's when an idea is so good, it has to go to market.
The emulator, that is so funny.
Emulators.
The emulator by Warren G. We kind of get him to be the,
and he does
the kind of
silhouette.
spokesperson. Yeah, he's the silhouette, you know. But maybe he's
on the tongue.
Maybe it's some sort of silhouette where you. Maybe with like white or it's a black silhouette, but then with white he has the goatee.
Reversible.
He has the goatee.
And then other shoes have a reverse of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's inverted. Right. It's reversible.
Something like that. Yeah. The emulator by Warren G. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the emulator by G, and then people have to know. Oh, what's the G? Oh, the G is actually
Warren.
for Warren G. Actually, yeah.
What do you think the G stands for, gentlemen?
Well. Gangster.
Yeah, I guess. Huh?
Or
is that just bias? Is that our racial bias? Is that because
it's not racial bias? It's just
that's the image they were portraying.
Yeah.
Warren Gangster.
Warren Gangster. Or it's short for G Harding.
G Harding.
Yeah.
Warren G Harding.
Yeah. Or what would be his last name? Is it his last name?
What if it's gigabytes? It's just short for gigabytes.
Warren Gigabytes. Warren Gigabytes. What about maybe it's short for gig? Because he probably wants to play gigs. He's probably doing gigs.
It's like The Secret, putting it out there.
Warren Gig.
Warren Gig.
Warren G. Maybe it's a reference to G strings.
Maybe that too. That's
Wait,
also pretty
Warren
cool.
G-strings.
Warren G-strings.
He wears a G-string on stage.
Because he goes like chords, strings, we brings, melodies.
He goes like this: chords, G-strings,
melodies, G-funk. The rhythm's life.
and life is shoe.
Is shoe. The sloppiest parody.
Such
It
a
doesn't
bad
even
parody.
rhyme.
He goes, yeah.
The only thing you change is one
Or
word.
what if he changes a lot of words? He goes, shoes. Wait, he goes, shoes, shoestrings, we brings, shoestrings.
Shoestrings.
I don't know.
The rhythm is life, and life is shoes. If you know like I know. Or is it like if you smoke like I smoke?
Yeah. No, it's if you know like I know that you don't want to step this is the G-Funk era, step down to the gangster twist. If you smoke like I smoke, then you're high like every
day. And if your hands is above you, 213 will regulate.
No, it will emulate.
Will emulate.
If your ass is a buster, this shoe will emulate.
We use AI to just bastardize Nate Dogg's legacy and sell these emulator
God, you're
shoes.
tainting his legacy without his. That is so bad. Yeah, that's so
I tried to
funny.
do this bit. I couldn't get it to work, but I was just talking about I love Nate Dogg. I go because his whole thing was just singing vulgar shit beautifully. That was his whole MO.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, what's one of his words?
Well, because you gave me all your pussy.
Yeah. He's like,
He's
just lay back
He's like,
and open your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I go like, he must have been singing one day, and they're like, Nate, you're such a lovely voice. We need you at the conservatory. And he's like, I belong to the streets.
Well, yeah, he's tortured because he has a voice.
He's like an operatic voice,
Yeah.
but he can only do
he doesn't
vulgar
want, yeah.
gangster street
Well, you know
stuff.
what that reminds me of him. That song, is I don't know if you do this, but I sing bass songs like that. I'll just sing and I'll put "sucking a dick" in there, or it's just. Sucking a dick. I'll just whatever. I'll sing and I'll just put, whatever, just the worst kind of crass lyrics in there, just as a joke,
Because the juxtaposition
And I feel like
of
that's
beautiful.
what it sounds like. You know what I mean? It's
But
just
he was the
sing-
go-to guy for
right,
very
for
melodic, vulgar stuff.
singing. Yeah.
What was the other one he had? It was man, I used to know it.
Well, that song, which is just interesting, is what is it called? That song,
Which one? Just Lay Back.
The song where
And
whenever I call you up, that song. Yeah, whenever I'm horny.
Oh, yeah.
I just call you up.
And
Oh, because
if you
I
can't-
never met a girl.
Yeah. He goes,
Who?
and if you can't fuck that day, baby.
Okay.
Just lay back.
I had respect for you, baby. Anyway, whatever.
It's called Ain't No Fun.
Oh, is that
It
what it
ain't
is? Ain't no fun if the homies can't have it.
If the homies can't have no fun.
No, are you sure that's
Guess
the same
who's
song?
back in
Oh,
the
yeah, it is, it
motherfucking
is.
house.
Oh, yeah,
with a
right.
fat dick for your motherfucking mouth.
So
How recognize?
that sounds pretty good. That sounds like Snoop.
Thanks, dude. Yo, I drink a Corona.
Snoop D-O double G.
Yo, we're just having a Snoop off.
Snoop.
Hey, cuz.
Snoop D-O double jizzle. Oh, hey, this is Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Now this is Snoop Dogg.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
1,
2 into
2,
the 4.
3 into the 4.
Snoop Doggy Dogg is about to show you the
Better than making that drink so back on now, cause I know I'm about to rip shit up.
Give me
Give me the microphone first.
before I bust like a bubble.
So
What?
that song,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't no fun or whatever.
Yes.
Do you know about Tuxedo, right?
I love Tuxedo.
Do you know about that song?
I love, yeah.
Do you know what that is?
What do you mean?
Do
I
you
mean,
know-
it's a remake. It's like the beat of it is Ain't No Fun.
Well, the idea was that what did they sample in this? That the idea was what is being sampled in Ain't No Fun, right? And they didn't know, and they thought, well, let's make the song that it would have been sampled from.
Oh, really?
That's the idea.
That's the genesis of it?
That's the idea behind it. That song from Tuxedo,
Whoa.
who's Mayor Hawthorne.
Mayor Hawthorne
So-
and Jake One, who's from
Okay.
Seattle.
Okay. Oh,
but I'm
really?
a
Yeah.
huge fan of Mayor Hawthorne. Guys, dude, I love music and everything. Check out Mayor Hawthorne. A good starting point is A Strange Arrangement. I think that was his first album that put him on the scene. You talking about Pastiche and everything. He
Yeah.
recreated
yeah.
a Motown
Yeah.
album.
No,
He
totally.
plays all the
Pastiche,
instruments on
right.
it. He does the vocals. It's a beautiful album, top to bottom. I was so impressed.
Well, I think
Tuxedo, same thing. Like,
Well, I think this thing where they basically made the song that was that it would have been sampled from, and that there's something kind of
To
pastiche
that.
about
I
that, or
agree.
something kind of postmodern about that. What they're saying, they don't know what that song is, so let's make that song, and this is the song they sample.
That's time
and that's
machine
pretty
pastiche
cool.
kind of.
And it's basically just a love song kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not a crass song.
You know
It's
who else
pretty
is
cool.
great at? Now we're getting into music territory with pastiche. Just people like really. It's not influenced by. It sounds of the period. Mayor Hawthorne is like that, and
Oh, there's a lot of people.
there's a lot of people. Mitch Murder.
Oh yeah.
Mitch Murder, like
yeah.
Sunglasses Kid. If you on Spotify, like 80s sounding, cinematic, kind of Van
Yeah.
Damme-y, just cliche 80s action movie stuff. And then also, he's on Stone Throw's record, Stimulator Jones.
I don't know that one.
I love Stimulator Jones as well. He makes really 90s sounding R&B. Where it doesn't sound influenced, it
Yeah.
sounds like you were transported.
Yeah,
like
I
you're
love
in
that.
you're in a Toyota or a Honda CRX,
Yeah.
and it's 1995, and this song comes on. Just I love artists who can recreate a sound like that.
I love it too. Yeah. I love that. I don't know.
Even New Jack
simulation.
Swing, it's so hard for people. Like I love the genre of New Jack Swing. It's not as big of a sound as so many other things like Motown or whatever, but it definitely occupied the space between like the 90s,
the early
with
90s.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis
Yeah.
and stuff like
Tony,
that.
Tony,
and
Tony.
Tony.
You know, I saw Tony live once actually.
All the Tonys were there.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's funny because I feel like back in the 90s, they kind of had a similar this look,
Yes, yeah.
But when I saw them, which was in the 2000, when was it actually? No, it was actually in the late 90s actually that I saw them. They had all these funky different looks, I thought that's interesting. Yeah, they were with Sheila E. It was this whole thing where it was Sheila E.'s birthday actually.
Oh, wow.
And basically I worked at this jazz club that her dad owned. It was called Mr. E's. Is Pete Escovedo. I don't know if people know that, but Pete Escovedo is Sheila E.'s dad. Pete Escovedo is more well known in the Latin jazz world, but he's a well known in that world as a timbale player. And so his daughter is Sheila E., and it was her birthday. And I played piano, and I was working during the happy hour at the club. And it was in Berkeley. And anyway, so I went to the birthday, and Tony performed, and she played with them and stuff, and it was cool. But anyway,
New Jack, man.
I'm kind of
they're great. That's awesome.
dropping that I saw them live
piano.
or whatever. I don't mean to brag or anything, but
Please,
it
that's what
was
this podcast
cool
is all
though.
about.
It was Tony. But anyway, New Jack Swing, and I
also-
was gonna. Oh yeah.
Sorry, Guy. I love
Oh.
Guy. This sounds like I'm coming out, but there's a I said Guy, not guys. Guy.
Oh, also I'm gay. It's just during this conversation.
You didn't know? Like I always wait.
I like
until...
Tony, and I like
mean-
Mitch Murder.
No,
and
hold on. The fact, all these bands just sound like I'm gay. Like I like Tony. like I like him so much, I'm saying it 3 times. I like Tony.
I like Jimmy Jam
and Terry Lewis.
and Terry Lewis.
And I like Guy.
And I'm gay, actually. Just so you know.
But
no, but I was gonna say there's
check out Guy.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
is that the same thing? Is it?
Their first album, I love. The second one's pretty good too. But Guy
Okay.
is great.
There's a guy that I like a lot, named Bart Davenport,
I don't know if I know.
and
Bart.
it's not. I don't think it's a genre of music you would. I mean, he's more singer songwriter kind of stuff, but his stuff sounds so like it's from another time. It sounds so 70s singer songwritery and sometimes 80s and 60s also, but it's so he's just the chord changes and everything, and he's so good at making it sound like it's from that era, and I love that too.
Yeah.
I love stuff that really adheres to an aesthetic like that and does a good job at it. And I try to do that in my own some of my videos.
I
and
think
stuff,
that's what I was trying to get at earlier or whatever. I think you are a guy who just it's like vibe over everything. You know what I mean? And
I like to
capturing.
I love that. I want to do a really good job making someone think something is, because my dream show, dream TV show is to do a family sitcom where I play the dad.
Yeah.
And I want it to be not even take place in the 80s, but I want it to look like it was made in the 80s though,
Yeah.
with the aspect ratio and just if people were to see it on TV, I would want them to be a little confused as to, is this a rerun of an old show or is this a new show or what? I I just like old stuff, really, when you get down to it. Or I just like stuff that just does a good job imitating stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I just like emulation.
You love emulators.
I like emulators.
Available at Big Five.
Big Five.
Ask your Big Five dealer if emulators are right for you. We just add this roadblock. Like, ask your doctor if, if you're healthy enough for emulators.
Ask your Big Five specialist.
like everyone has a Big Five specialist. But I also like ask your doctor if emulators are right for you. You go, whoa, what's wrong with these? Is there something dangerous about emulators?
Right.
Ask your doctor if you're healthy enough for emulators.
What are the side effects of emulators, you know?
Vomiting.
Diarrhea.
Nausea.
Impotence.
Heart attacks.
Impotence.
But that just raises the stake. Like, these things are $500 and they make my dick soft?
Yeah, it's like, what's up, you know? How do they have that effect on you, you know?
But why are they so expensive, and why do they have all these things that it'll do to me?
I know. Also,
I'm
it's
intrigued.
Like, the whole idea is to emulate. It's supposed to be the cheap way of getting the expensive shoe, you know?
That's a good point. But then we get drunk with power and we start it's almost like, those stories of bands who get too much money and break up. They start drinking their own Kool-Aid and stuff.
It started as just a mom and pop kind of thing, you know?
It wasn't supposed to turn into this.
It was a grassroots.
We were supposed to be an alternative to Air Jordans. Now you're all about the money.
Now these are more money than Jordans.
Yeah. I have more money than God after these emulators. I can't go back.
The emulators are definitely, they fall into the realm of AI and virtual reality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you could be anything or have anything, you know what I mean? In virtual reality.
Be the shoe.
Yeah.
Have any shoe you want.
Yeah. It kind of falls into that realm, kind of, you know?
Dream up a shoe, we'll get you a cover.
You know, if AI could design new shoes, they could design the Air Jordans 25.
Whoa.
And then you have a 3D printer make them.
Yo, you're joking, but that's could be
gonna happen,
real.
Right?
Yeah, you plug in enough of the Air Jordans over history,
and
you say, AI, create another iteration of Air Jordan.
Yeah,
and it's like Chat GPT Jordan,
or just create 2025.
So you could probably get the 3035 Air Jordans tomorrow.
Right. Can AI predict what shoes will look like in 1,000 years? You know,
that might be ambitious. That's a data set that it has to do a lot of interpolating.
When are sneakers going to change? You know what I mean? Because they didn't have
emulators, dude. What are you talking about? There's going to be a divergent in the chart. Traditional shoes and then emulators change the game. Emulators is like the monkey walking on 2 feet. That's the huge departure in the genome.
It's just interesting because sneakers didn't exist 100 years ago, right?
I guess not.
They didn't. When did sneakers come out, actually?
Guys, do you know? Write into the podcast, fahimanwardancehour@gmail.com. Write us when sneakers were invented.
Sneakers are pretty young. You know what I mean? I mean, they might be younger than film. You know, I mean, film is an art form or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Buster Keaton with sneakers. So
when did sneakers come out? I mean, okay, Converse were around in the 50s, right?
Were they? Or was that like a 70s thing with Dr.
No,
J
they definitely were around in the 60s at least, I think.
Oh, with like greasers and stuff?
I don't know. I just feel like...
Well, greasers was what, 50s or 60s?
50s.
Okay.
Yeah. I think 50s they had sneakers. They must have, right?
Probably.
I think Converse were around in the 50s.
Yeah,
maybe.
If you went to a sock hop and shit, I feel like I can visually see Converse
I could just picture... I think I could picture somebody wearing cuffed jeans and... a white undershirt and wearing Converse maybe, or maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. It seems like seems doable, but were sneakers around in the 40s? I can't fathom that.
Not.
Can't fathom it. But so that's pretty interesting how young sneakers are.
Right.
So what are sneakers going to look like in 1,000 years? That is you can't even fathom it. Can't fathom it. Do they even exist? Do people even have feet in 1,000 years?
They may not. We may evolve beyond it.
Yeah, we might just be floaters at that point.
We're just levitating.
Yeah.
We just levitate everywhere we go.
We've evolved to be able to levitate somehow.
What if we're just in the metaverse? Zuckerberg was right. We don't leave our nutrient slurry pods and we're all at home.
So it's like
just throw some goggles on. I go, yo, you want to have lunch? And then I have my nutrient slurry.
Slurry? That's what they're called? Slurries?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a flurry meets a Slurpee.
Yeah. McSlurry.
A McSlurry?
A McSlurry. Because it takes all the guesswork. Every day you're like, what should I eat? What would taste good? It's very taxing.
No,
But if
no.
I just had a nutrient slurry,
No. It's easy. Sometimes you don't want to eat. Sometimes I'm just thinking. Sometimes if I'm busy, it's a chore to eat. Sometimes.
we're making the commercial for nutrient slurry right now. Sometimes I don't want to eat. I'm too busy and I'm in the zone. I don't want to think about, do I want Italian food or Thai food? Oh, great. Nutrient slurry. It comes in gray, darker gray.
Yeah.
Nutrient slurry gray.
And it comes to gray, darker gray, and after dark. Or something like that. It's some kind of, it's purple
Like it's
or
for adults.
It's purple or it's black or
And
something.
our new after dark slurry.
No, I think I kind of like that idea though, to just sort of
A nutrient slurry.
do a slurry.
Well, they have that thing that's called Soylent.
Yeah,
Have you tried it?
I have tried it once. Yeah,
How is it?
I don't know.
Is it gross or
No.
No?
Not gross. It tastes like
Nothing?
I can't. I'm trying to remember what it tastes like. It does remind me of something. It was like it's kind of like a milkshake it's a smoothie of sorts. It's
Is
almost
it flavored? Like
yeah,
a, like
little bit.
chocolate milk or something?
I
or
think it is kind of maybe flavored. I think.
I heard they were working the kinks out initially. Like the first iterations of it, people would be farting all the time.
Oh really?
yeah.
That's funny.
So it's supposed to be a meal replacement. You could just drink these instead of having food.
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, that seems so nuts to me. But I kind of like the idea if you're on the go, if you're busy and you don't have time to eat.
To bang out a meal. I've had that. Sometimes, I mean, I don't edit as much as I used to. When I was doing sketches on my own and stuff, I would be locked in editing.
Yeah.
The sun would go down.
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Yeah.
And then the hunger would hit me. In that period of my life, I might have done Soylent. Just, okay.
Definitely. It's just, I don't have time to, I just don't want to, I don't want to bother with eating right now. You know, let me just get something that is going to be,
Make me live.
yeah, just sustain me and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting though. It's really futuristic.
It is. That with our emulators, maybe we could do like a bundle package. You know, we could do emulators has teamed up with Soylent. Do you want to welcome? And it's called Welcome to the Future. Emulators, Soylent. Welcome to the future. And then there's a lightning
Not
bolt.
Soylent. We're calling them slurries, right?
Nutrient slurries.
Wait,
we're
did
the
you make up the
competitor.
word slurry?
No, slurry's been around, I believe.
It has?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I've never heard it until now.
slurry?
It sounds like flurry, a McFlurry mixed with a Slurpee.
Yo, then we get so big, then there's mixed slurries because people want like a dessert version of it, right? And it just rolls off the tongue, mixed slurry.
Or what if it's a sweet slurry, so it's a swirry, it's a swirry.
And then we got different colors, and it's a mixed swirly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you have gray and then white and black, and it's in a.
It's all got to be not really even really colors. They're just grayscale.
Yes,
kind of
it's
thing.
grayscale,
Yeah.
and the colorblind community appreciates this,
Right?
Because they're not missing
It's
out
inclusive,
on anything.
you know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think we came up with a lot of great.
I mean, no, it's
products.
always. I mean, yeah, I mean, these are great products. I mean, wow, I can't wait to see these actually come out.
Sure.
You know?
This is
It's been a
productive.
productive.
This isn't even
meeting,
a podcast. This is just an R&D session for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, guys, if you want to make some of the products that we just laid out for you, and you want to take it to marketplace, just go ahead, make some prototypes. We'll look at it. You know, obviously, right.
We'll have our team.
We'll have our team take a look at it.
Take a look at it. You know.
fahimanwardancehour@gmail.com. Send us the protos.
Do you get a lot of emails?
Yeah, every now and then.
What do they?
I have some, but then I'm wondering. I don't know.
you
if
want?
Well,
You answer them.
I'll probably wait for Aristotle because some of them came and are addressed to Aristotle as well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I got to
yeah,
save
yeah.
them up. Yeah, I think we did good. Do you have any questions or anything you want to address? Well, hit the people with your socials. Where can they see? Is Gangster Party Line on your website? Like if they want to see the original.
I actually recently uploaded it on Instagram because just even though I feel stupid uploading a 10-year-old video.
Who gives a shit?
Well, because so many people are re-uploading it, I said,
Let me
okay,
get a piece of my thing.
I just said just because people are re-uploading it so much, here's an upload from the creator of it, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can use pass this one around instead, you know. But no, I mean, look, YouTube, you can see a lot of videos.
What's your
there.
YouTube?
Brent Weinbach.
So just youtube.com/Brent Weinbach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, on Instagram it's Brent Weinbach Comedy.
Got it.
Brent Weinbach comedy because Brent Weinbach was taken, I guess.
And then you have albums and stuff on Spotify, right? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, Apple Music,
Music.
Apple Music or whatever.
We'll have it all in the description as
mostly
well.
Live is a good album to check out. Mostly live. And then there's my special on Amazon is called Appealing to the Mainstream.
Yeah. So check out all his specials, his comedy.
And check out on Vimeo. You can see I Don't Dance, which co-stars Fahim Anwar, who steals it.
I don't know about
He
that.
steals it. He's so funny and good in
Thanks
it.
for having me in it.
No, I mean, he was perfect for it. And there was elements. Yeah, we didn't get into this, but the elements from it that were inspired by you was that. I mean, a video that was kind of inspirational was the Fahim Dance Hour party. It's kind of pertains to the podcast in a way because
this is the name of the podcast. Yeah. But I used to have this series on YouTube, like early YouTube, where I would do this thing where the camera would be rolling. This is on a DV camera back in the day. And it would just be me in front of the camera as like a nervous guy. I'd be like, welcome to the Fahim Anwar Dance Hour, where we dance to the latest tracks and add layer upon layer of video effects in Sony Vegas. Let's begin, shall we?
Yeah.
And then I would just start dancing and there'd be a star wipe and then there'd be a clock wipe.
And then he did 2.0. And the special effects were a lot better, and they were
because I had an editor friend who can do like lightsaber. He could do all these crazy things. So I go, it'd be funny if I'm just dancing around Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then he just adds all these crazy special effects. It's so long. It's 6 minutes or 7 minutes.
Flies right by. And I love that. I've watched it many times.
Wow.
It's really good because, it takes the original concept, which is him just dancing in his apartment, and then it just took it to the next level. And it was really good. And the music in it was really good too.
Yeah, Tesla Boy.
Yeah, and so there was this Miami Horror remix.
Oh yeah, because it goes into a different song. Yeah.
There's a Miami Horror remix.
I Can Cook or something. I forget.
Yeah,
what it's called.
I Can Cook. Yeah. Wait, it's Grafton Primary, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah,
but it's a remix, right?
Yeah, it's a Miami Horror remix, right? And that I really liked that. And when I was writing the script for the I Don't Dance, I couldn't. Well, the main song I was actually hearing in my head was not a song that I used in it at all. It was the song. I don't. There's a song called I Don't Dance or I Can't Dance. It's from High School Musical 2, but that's a whole nother story.
But that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
that's part 2.
But that scene, I kept on thinking, okay, there's a scene that happens, and I couldn't get it out of my head what was in your video, that Grafton Primary. And I thought, I want to use that. And I asked you, is it cool if I use that?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah. And I said, it's not a big deal that it's in your video already. And so
I don't own all music.
No, I know, but I found out about that song through you and through that video. And I just thought, it just really works for this scene, And so, yeah. Anyway, that's what we used. I mean, that's what I used for it. Was that. So that was inspired by your video, that part, and then, you use this dance studio, and it looked really great. And I thought, what is that dance studio? I want to use that for the dance studio scenes in this
for sure.
And
it's a great dance. I think it's called Hollywood Dance Studio. We used it for the first time when Melissa Villaseñor.
Yeah. The thing. It was the Lance thing, right?
Well, it's the first time Lance ever appeared visually.
Wait,
because I didn't have an accent in. It's called Dirty Breakin'.
Yeah,
the video is called Dirty Breakin'.
That's a really good sketch, but didn't you appear as that though?
That's the first time I ever appeared.
That music, the Das Racist.
After.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I talked like this. I didn't have I didn't have the Lance accent.
It's so funny, man. With that you're on the street at first. I mean, again pastiche.
Yeah.
They kind of were really trying to. It seems simulate those kind of dance movies, these dance movies.
Because I would watch these dance movies, and it would always, to me, it'd be funny that there's this girl who does classical dancing. And there'd always be this like white guy who's tapped into the streets.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You think that's real dancing? Let me show you where it's really happening."
Yeah.
And I always felt like it was gross. Because they were sort of like going to the inner city just to visit. Like these people who are doing very interesting dance live there, and it's part of their culture.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's do a field trip. Check out what the black kids are dancing to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to pretend that he's one of the, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was kind of a play on that.
Yeah.
Where they're having this great time in the world of dance, and as soon as the music is done, like he's afraid, like he's a coward. Yeah. So just playing on that trope.
But they use a dance studio at one point, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And then, and I just thought, there's a dance studio scene in this.
Yes.
A couple of them actually, and So anyway, yeah,
It's a great dance
anyway,
studio.
he told me where that was, and I said, and so that was inspired by it too. So there was inspiration from you in that, and then I also just thought that role would be really good for you too and stuff. So
Yeah, it's always nice to be thought of, but especially by people that you like their work. And so it was an easy yes. You know what I mean? Sometimes people will say, "Oh, I have something for you in mind," and I don't know them. I don't know their work.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm a fan of you. I respect your
yeah,
work,
no,
and
yeah, no.
it was such an obvious yes. I wanted to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, no, same. I mean, yeah. If it's there's things where it's I'm happy to do things. If I don't know somebody, then I'm thinking, all right.
Yeah, you don't know
I
how
better,
it's gonna come
I better.
out.
Well, no, I'm down to do people's things, but I got to get paid though, or something. It's got to be a decent
Right.
paying gig,
To make it worth your while.
But if it's something I really like, or people who make stuff I like, I'm down to just. I want to be in it. I don't even care about being paid at all. I want to be in it,
Yeah.
because it's it's a pleasure to me to be in it or whatever. Something.
yeah,
like that,
it's just fun to create good stuff, especially with friends.
yeah.
But
Anyway, so I Don't Dance is very. He's not just in it. He's inspired parts of it too.
whoa, I'm a muse, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a muse. I've always wanted to be a male muse.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. All right, a song for the people. Oh yeah, hit like, subscribe,
Is that what you
hit
do?
the
You pick a
notification
song?
bell. Yeah, every week I kind of have a song, my song of the week, and then it'll
can I
play.
mention
at the
one
end
other
of
thing?
Yeah, please.
I've started doing this. It's actually been going on now for over a year. I do this sort of live stream. It's kind of a live video podcast with my sister. It's called The Chicken Coop, and it's on my YouTube channel. And it's every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we joke around and talk about stuff, and then we oftentimes watch commercials from the 80s and 90s and just break them down and analyze them in funny ways and stuff.
Check it out. Subscribe. Check out all the stuff. All right, this song, guys, is called Toes, and it's by Bliss Station, Flamingosis, and Hirobo. I think I've had another song of theirs on here before, but here's another one. This is my tasty jam. I can't get enough of it. Where am I going to be? I don't know when this is going to drop, but I'm going to be in Chicago this Friday. It'll probably be in the past by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
And then Cobb's the 17th, May 17th. And then I'm doing Seattle, Vancouver, and Portland in July. So go to my website, check out those dates. Do you have any dates coming up or no?
No.
All
I need to
right.
get some dates.
Get some dates on the books,
I
dude.
need some dates here.
If you guys have dates, just
Send 'em my way.
Send them his
Send
way.
it my way, huh?
Shoot him a DM.
And maybe I should change my name to Brent G.
Brent G.
So I can just get some gigs,
and some G strings.
Get some gigs. And what? And G strings, yeah. Some gigs and G strings.
Yeah.
Brent G. Harding.
Well, thanks for coming, doing the pod.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Catch you next time. Peace.